Welcome to Paris, France for the most important karate event and the culmination of a long journey for those athletes who have not yet qualified for the Olympics. 40 athletes from around the world have already booked their ticket to Tokyo through the Olympic standings, but following weekend provides the last opportunity of 500 athletes to try to stake a claim of the final 24 places across the 8 divisions. Our program comes to you live from the Stade Pierre de Coubertin, named after the father of the modern Olympics. The program is being broadcast around the world on TV networks and also live streamed on Karate One TV. I'm Billy Brennan, and joining me to provide you with live commentary for all of the action is former World Karate Champion, member of the World Karate Federation Executive Committee, and chairman of the World Karate Federation Athletes Commission, Davide Benatello.
Billy,
Davide,
welcome to Paris.
Fantastic.
Amazing, Billy. This morning was amazing competition. I really enjoy the wonderful athletes, and the level of the performance was really impressive.
Well, we've got a different kind of tournament to look at now. The earlier elimination rounds coming down to the last 4 athletes. The way this is going to pan out is that there will be a round robin event. And this will mean that perform the kata, you'll see the tables start to change. After the first round, if one of the athletes wins, they will get 2 points.
Yes.
The loser gets 0. There are 6 kata, 6 rounds.
Yes.
level, Davide, that they have weak cutter anyway. But
yes.
but it depends on who they're drawn against.
Look, the tactic is very important in every sport, and in this case, the round robin constrict you to have a good tactic because the choosing of the a good kata with your opponent is the best way to try to win the bouts, the match in this case.
And we see the opponent of Jasmine Jutner. This is Alexander Faraci of France. Now she will wait to go next. The first performance is the athlete wearing the red belt, and Alexander Faraci will follow that, and she'll be wearing a blue belt. So, Sansei, Jasmine Jutner starts her serious last chance bid for a place in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Jasmine Jutner opens the round robin in the female kata Olympic qualifying tournament here in Stade Pierre de Coubertin, Paris. Now the judges will be looking to give a technical score and an athletic score. The technical score is worth 70% of the mark, and 30% of the mark is for athletic performance. After all, kata is a technical discipline, and that beep is the scores going in to the computers. And as Jasmine leaves the tatami, just to remind you that of those 40 athletes already qualified in female kata, that includes Viviana Bottaro of Italy, Sakura Kokomai of the United States, Mao Grace Lau of Hong Kong, China, Sandra Sanchez of Spain, the world champion, and Kiyoshi Mizu of Japan. Alexander Faraci of France. Her chosen kata, Papuren. As you can see, there are no spectators in the stadium. That's because of the dreadful COVID-19, but the health and safety measures being put in place by the French National Karate Federation have been extremely good, making the competition as safe as it can possibly be for these athletes. Now the judges are looking to mark kata and score it against the perfect performance of kata, not necessarily against one against the other. However, as I said earlier, the winner of each bout will receive 2 points. The loser, 0. So Alexander Ferracci comes to the end of the kata performance of Papuren, and the judges will take that opportunity now to input the scores as Jasmine Jutner comes to the edge of the tatami. Once those scores are put in, you'll see the referee make their way to the other side of the tatami, and then the announcement of the winner of this bout will be released. The graphic that you'll see on the screen shortly will be the actual match that the actual bout we've just seen. You see technical performance, athletic performance, and the total score. Technical performance 17.64 against 17.92. Very close indeed between the two athletes. The athletic performance 7.68 against 7.74, and the win goes to Alexandra Ferracci of France. What a great opener for her. That's 2 points she's got. 25.06.
This is one step close to Tokyo.
One step closer, and of course the 2 points.
Yes.
Big win. That puts a lot of pressure now on Jasmine Jutner for her second kata.
Yes, you have to consider that one of the four has to go out.
Here's a chance to have a look at the performance of Papuren from Ferracci. She's going to be delighted with that opening, getting a win in the first round. So here is the round robin. As you can see now, 2 points against the name of Alexander Ferracci. Jasmine Jutner, no score. The score in the second column is the score that they actually achieved in the first round, 25.66 against 25.32. So in the second column, that's the number of bouts they've actually had. So in the total score, 25.66, as they go through the rounds, the other scores will be added to it.
Yes,
So you will see a total of scores as we go through.
very clear, Billy, very clear. The only way to go to Tokyo is to win.
Absolutely.
But at the end, every point count. Every single point count. Last 3 years of qualification for all the athletes, 20, I think around 24 qualifying event with Premier League, Series A, Continental, and now all. That you can perform against the stronger athletes is not the right way to take a good tactic. So it's very individual tactic, independent tactic for sensation that every athlete has during competition.
Absolutely. People may be wondering, why is Dilara Bozan going first? Why does she go before Aztak? She's wearing the red color. The red color always goes first. That's Aka.
Yes.
But the reason for that
is the points.
Is the points that they have amassed and the positioning that they have in the draws.
Yes, every previous match had some points, and all the athletes reach this round-robin final because of their points, and there is a difference between the athletes.
And the rank in the Olympic standing.
And the rank on the Olympic standing, yes.
So that makes Dilara Bozan one of the seeds. She's, in fact, the number 2 seed, I think. Number 3 seed.
Yes, but for sure, the best 2 athletes, the athletes that should reach the final before, will meet in the last kata.
Yes.
This is for sure. So
they will be the top 2 seeds. Yes, so the last match is going to be real nail biter.
Yes, and probably will decide the winner.
And Bozan's come into this crucial tournament in extremely good position. She's the silver medalist in the European Championships just a few weeks ago in Porridge, Croatia, where she was defeated by the current world champion, who has already qualified, Sandra Sanchez of Spain. Good performance, strong performance of Anandai from the Turkish competitor, Dilara Bozan. That's the score being put into the computer. Now we await Fatima Sadeh-Daztak. Her chosen kata is Papuren. Now, if you are not so familiar with karate, here's a chance for you to make a comparison between the performance now of Papurin against that of Alexandra Faraci from France, who won the first bout against Jasmine Juttner of Germany. This kata first appeared in 2007 from the national team of Japan.
Very long kata, eh?
Very, very long kata indeed.
And a lot of possibility to make some mistakes.
Exactly. Some quick turns, slow movements, balances, as you see here. And when the kata was performed in 2007, it was Hiromi Enagaki who made it quite a famous kata on the WKF list. So scores have gone in, and now Delara Bozen comes to the side of the tatami. We'll have a look at that technical and athletic performance in just a moment. And here is the athletic performance and technical performance. You see 18.06 against 17.22,
Wow.
7.56 against 7.32. Very, very good and a powerful win. And it goes, of course, to Turkey's Delara Bozen. 25.62 against 24.54.
And the first two
And
is over.
The first two, the first round, so to form that Yoko Gerika Komi. I'm very pleased she is with her performance. We get a chance now to see what the scores look like on the second round. Now, we have the grand score for Alexander Faraci, 2. The grand score for Delara Bozen, 2. And, of course, Jasmine Jinta and Dastak haven't won yet, so they have zeros. There are the total scores in the box next to that, 25.66, 25.619. That's unusual to see 3 points in the score. Perhaps that should be 61 or 62. 25-3-2 against 24-5-4. So there are the scores, and as we go through the rounds, we have more kata to come, of course. Those total scores, that TS total scores, will start to change, and you will see that. And don't be fooled at the moment, because Faraci and Bosn have both got 2 wins. That doesn't mean to say that Jutna and Dastak can't come in the next round and change the table. And you perhaps will see that change happening more than once throughout the round robin. So the athletes are just getting ready for the third bout in the female kata round robin of the Olympic qualifying tournament here in Paris, France. And this next performance and changing of colour is Alexander Faraci of France.
So I'll be ready for round number 3. English president Aka, wearing red, again from France, in Scotland, Alexander Faraci.
So just so that you're aware, when there's a change of belt, there's a time allowed, a time value. And because Faraci just come on, she'll be coming back again, but there has been 2 kata in the performance. So that's approximately 7 or 8 minutes rest. So it's sufficient. It's sufficient.
Yes, we plan the rules that for all the athletes will have at least two kata of rest.
Yes.
So this is.
From Turkey,
I'm sure you can appreciate there's been a tremendous amount of work behind the scenes from people like Davide here and others to get this round robin system working particularly efficiently. And there are, of course, and perhaps we'll get into that, if there is a tie break, there is a procedure that follows.
Yes.
And it's quite in depth, Davide, isn't it?
Yes, the tie resolution is very complicated, but I think that we will not have in this case with so many points on the plate.
And the system that we're watching here, the round robin system, is the same
More or
that
less
will
the
be
same
in the Olympics in Tokyo.
Olympics, yes.
So in some ways this is a dress rehearsal
Yes,
of how it will unfold.
yes.
So the choice of kata for the second bout by Alexander Faraci is Suprempe. And the styles of karate, the major styles, are Shitoru, which is the Suprempe kata predominantly from, although there are other versions. So there's Shitoru, there's Shotokan, there's Wataru, and Gojoru.
Yes.
The origin of kata is a mix of naha style, nahate, shirate, and tamarate. The introductions of the styles were from the great masters of Japan. Kichin Funakoshi for Shotokan, for example. Enma Mabuni, Superempe, Shitoru, Gogan Yomaguchi from Goju-Ryu, and Hiroro Otsuka from Wado-Ryu. So the scores for Superempe and Alexander Rachia. Rachia takes the bow, leaves the tatami, and Delara Bozen will come forward to perform her second kata, which is going to be Paporen. This is the third time now that we've seen this kata, and this is the version. The style has to be adhered to, doesn't it, Davide? It has to be part of the key of the style of the school of karate, but there can be slight variation, but only slight.
Yes. Only slight variation. That's usually very, very, very small.
Yeah, very small.
Very small. They adapt sometimes the kata to their body, sometimes, or some style modification during the time. But they never change the meaning of kata, because every kata has a meaning,
Exactly.
has a history, is a fight.
Now, in the assessment of the kata, the judges are looking at technical performance, which includes the stances, the techniques, the transitional movements and timing, the correct breathing of the athlete, and the focus, the kime, about the kata, and conformance to the style, the ruha of the kata. The athletic performance is the strength, the speed, and the balance of the kata. (102 kata on the list of WKF.
So many.
Massive, massive choice of kata.
Massive choice. But we know that about 20 of that kata are chosen.
By the top athletes.
Yes. That because also are very difficult.
There's an example of how difficult it is to move from speed to standstill and then back into fast action. You just see on the shoulder of Bozen there the colours of blue. That's optional in this tournament, isn't it, Davide? The athletes can choose to wear their colours on their shoulders, red or blue. So some of the athletes will have no colour at all. Some will have red, some will have blue.
Yes. This is the change in the WKF start some years ago. Now most of the athletes has the shoulder with the brands.
Yes,
In Tokyo will be not permitted.
just white.
Just white. A little logo on the chest.
Perhaps in the future you may see Olympic rings, maybe for the Olympic champions.
Yes.
Possibly. Why not?
Why not?
Gold for the world champions.
At least we will have 8 Olympic champions.
Fantastic. So that's the scores being put in, and we'll see now the technical and athletic performance as we on the bottom of the screen here, as the chief judge makes her way Make his way across to
Wow.
17.92, 17.92.
Unbelievable.
Technical performance, my goodness here. This is, oh my word.
And now
It's-
we have to go deep in the rules.
yes, look at that. That's the first time we've seen this. That's a dead tie. But 25-4-2, 25-4-2. That's an amazing outcome.
We have some points that was deleted. Higher for the Turkish girl. That's why tie resolution give us the
So
winner.
that's why, because here we see exactly what happened here. But
Yes.
that just shows you when you have 7 judges
Yes.
giving 2 scores each, that's 14 scores. The top 2 scores go away, the bottom 2 scores go away, and then there is the outcome. And of course, when you go deeper into the tie-break,
Yes.
that's when those scores come back into play.
Yes.
And
the,
that's-
and the
that's-
higher.
And the higher of the 2
Yes.
gets the result. And that's why Dilara Bozan came out on top.
Yes.
And here's the change look you see now. Dilara Bozan, oh, she's almost there, isn't she, Davide?
Yes.
2 wins, my goodness. But
Yes.
Dilara Bozan, 4 points now she has. 2 points for Farati of France, but still to score at all is Jasmine Yunta and Fatima Sadeh Dastak. Now that match is going to be crucial, isn't it? Because
Yes.
at the moment, neither of them are going to the Olympics. That's going to be so crucial.
Yes. This will be one of the most important kata in their life of these 2 athletes.
So,
Wearing the red from the Islamic Republic, multi-run, Fatima Sadeh Dasta.
this match.
The day after. Usually you disconnect from the reality for this kind of very, very important.
Now you're a
Wow.
coach. You're a coach. You've been an athlete. You are in the heartbeat of the WKF. What on earth are the coaches saying to their athletes to try and motivate them for this level of pressure?
Look, sometimes the coach are more emotional than the athletes because they cannot fight, they cannot have a bout.
Chatnyara no Kushanku with the choice of kata for Dastak. That's a very strong kata.
Yes, this is very powerful kata. Shorter, not so much, but shorter.
As you see in the background there, Yudna trying not to take too much notice of the performance of Dastak and to concentrate on her own preparation. Oh, very good.
Yes.
There are some that have said that the drama of tension has been lost when the flags were taken away and the points were introduced.
Yes.
But the round robin, this drama is just equal, isn't it?
Yes.
If not more.
For sure. But also because our Robin is one against the other, so one has to win and one has to lose. So we have hidden flag.
that's the finish of the kata. Chatanyara no Kushanku, and what a very good performance of that kata it was. Dastak must be thinking that has she done enough?
No, she done very good.
Najutna performed the Shotokan version of Super MP in the European Championships and did really well.
Yes. Super and pay.
That's her choice again. I think it's fair also to say, when talking of pressure, there is a tremendous amount of pressure on the judges, who are all Olympic judges. These are the judges that will be going to Japan to represent the WKF.
Yes. Oh, they are
So the best of the best.
the best of the best referees in the karate world in this moment. They train a lot to reach Tokyo in their best shape also, because they train a lot.
This is also an excellent kata.
I was looking Olympic standing Billy before, and I see that of the top 6 registered here, we are missing 2 athletes that didn't reach the round robin, from New Zealand and Dimitrova, that is not registered in this championship. So we miss only 1 of the top 6 in this round robin. So that means that the performance during the last 3 years of qualification period, those athletes represent the top of the top in this period. So we don't have big surprise in this championship.
No.
Not in kata. It's very difficult. Maybe in kumite, something more. Not in kata. Kata is more stable as quality of the athletes, and no big surprise.
In kata, it's entirely within their hands, isn't it?
Yes.
It's their performance. In kumite, all sorts of things can happen. Super MP, extremely complicated kata, whether it's the Shitoru version or the Shotokan version. Hayaku Hachiho, Super MP. Well, it's going to be a tough one to call between these two, Davide.
Yes, not so easy.
And the pressure, as I said, neither of these have had a win yet, so they've got no points. They need that to push themselves into that third vital place at this stage. Scores have gone in. We will await to see the graphic come up on your screen. Technical performance, athletic performance. Let's see how it starts to unfold. 17.36, 17.64. At the moment, Jasmine Juntner is slightly ahead. 7.62 against 7.5. The tables turn in the athletic performance.
Wow.
So who is it going to be? 24.98, 25.14. The technical performance is the most important.
Yes.
Jasmine Juntner's performance of the shotgun version of Super MP secures her first win. Now we'll see how that makes a change to the table. And this is how she did it. So we'll get a chance now to see what that has done to the round robin table. And here it is, 4 points for Delara Bos, and she still sits clearly out on top in a comfortable position. Faraci with 2 points. Jasmine Juntner now in 2 points. Now we start to look at the next table, which is the TS scores you see. 51.79 for Faraci, 50.46. So there's very little between the two. That could change again. But Dastak is trailing in 4th place, and she needs to pull out a win. Desperately needs to pull out a win now, Davide, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
And she's got just one more chance to do so. And that will be against Alexander Faraci. So far, it's been nail-biting to watch the performances and to see how this table is starting to change with that round-robin system.
Yes, but the first things that we have to take in consideration is that the bout between the Turkish and the French give the winning to the Turkish, and so even in case of more points because of the bouts.
Yes. Of Islamic Republic of Iran. This is the final kata for both of them. You may see on the scoreboard just behind Faraci, Chatnyara Kushanku is the choice of kata, and it's number 008 in the WKF kata list. As she comes to the end of the kata, Chatnara Kushanku. Those scores will be put in. Another great performance from the French athlete. Because of the positioning here, Dastak has to perform the kata of her life, really. She has got to get on that scoreboard.
Anandai.
Junior World silver medalist in 2015. She has been a continental champion as a senior, as a under 21, and she was a silver medalist as a junior. So Fatima Sade Dastak comes to the end of the kata. Anandai takes the bow. Can she get a win here? She's up against Alexander Faraci of France. Once more, we'll see the graphic come on to your screen with the technical and athletic performance of both of these. 18.06 is a strong lead here, isn't there, in technical performance against Fatima Sade Dastak, and also in the athletic performance, and a very powerful win from the French kata athlete Alexander Fatia. She's got a big smile on her face. She knows what that means. And sadly, it isn't such a great day for the Iranian kata athlete, who looks has failed in her attempt to get into the Olympics on this occasion. So it looks like the great performance here of Faraci was far too strong for Fatima Sade Dastak, who finishes the round robin in 4th position. 2nd place was going to Alexander Faraci. The winner, as you can see here, on the table here. We've got 2 on 4 points, 2 on 4 points, 1 on 2 points, and that is Jasmine Yutna and Fatima Sadeh Dastak, who has, and she is the one who loses out. And then the other 3 Olympics, and that was a powerful performance from these 3. So now the ring splitter, José Redondo. Now, there's still a lot at stake because the scores can change. And at the moment we see Juntna is sitting in 3rd place with 2 points. If she can get another win, that changes things because the other 2 have 4 points each. And sadly for Fatima Sadeh Dastak, she is not on the scoreboard and she can't make any changes now. She's completed her 3 kata. This time the performance of the kata will be Onsu. The technical aspect of the kata, the dachi, the stances is very important. Feet position must be perfectly aligned. For example, here in Kibadachi, the horse stance, the straddle stance, Furudachi, Zenkutsudachi. Big jump. And Shudna comes to the closing stages of the kata.
Good performance.
Another strong performance, yes, wasn't it, from the German?
No mistake.
No. good performance throughout, start to finish, in the final kata of the round robin in the female kata of the Olympic qualification tournament here in Paris, in the Stade Pierre de Coubertin. However, she wants to win this tournament. She wants to be the one that takes the gold medal home, and to stamp her authority over the other two in this tournament that will be going. Chatnyara Kushanku is her choice of kata.
Which are the qualified athletes in this?
All with the
No.
exception.
No, but in step
Sorry.
1.
Oh, the qualified athletes, Viviana Bottaro from Italy, of course.
Yes,
So
okay.
congratulations,
Thank
Davide, as president of the Italian Karate Federation. Sakura Kokamai of the United States, Mao Xiong Grace Lau of Hong Kong, Sandra Sanchez, the world champion from Spain, and Kiyoshi Mizu from Japan.
So 5.
So there's 5 that have already qualified. The other 3 places will be taken by the athletes who win here today.
And on Monday we will pick the 2
And then there's those last 2 places that will be chosen
by continental
by
representation.
continental representation, correct.
Yes, the highest in the position in the rank, in the Olympic standing.
As Dilara Bozen bows
Okay.
to complete the last of the katas in the round robin, she will leave the tatami and the scores will be input. So as the Chief Judge Robert Hamara, who is from Norway and an Olympic referee, and the Secretary of the World Karate Federation Referee Commission, announces the win, and it is a clear win, 26 points to Dilara Bozen of Turkey.
They know that they both
They
go
are
to
both
Tokyo.
delighted,
They are qualified, both of them.
and hopefully we'll get a chance to have a look at the athletes that do qualify in just a few minutes. But sitting right on top of the tree, we'll see the graphic, I'm sure. Their ticket for Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. So now we see the mats being changed over from kata to kumite. And of course, Davide, this is an area of your forte. You were a world champion, Davide,
Yes.
in kumite.
I'm very honest, Billy. I'm for sure my knowledge is much better in kumite than in kata.
Well, I think your knowledge of karate is infinite. You know so much about it, and you're influencing it so much also. But it's fair to say that as a world kumite champion,
Yes.
you do indeed now know so much more about this particular discipline. And just remind us there, we see the podium.
Yes.
That is going to be an opportunity for the medalists, those three medalists. There's only one bronze medal going to be won, which will be the case in Japan.
Yes. No, in Japan we will have two
bronze medals
Yes,
in the Olympic.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's great.
That's great for the athletes,
So
yes.
how desperate it would be to have just one bronze medal. But we are, karate is one of those sports that are lucky enough to be able to have two bronze medalists in the Olympic Games. Fantastic.
Yes.
But the tournament here, the qualifying tournament, is been so tough. Now, with the male kumite, as you see here, which will be the first one, this will be the same principle for the female kumite, and all of the scores at the moment are 0. These are the athletes that will be competing. These are the athletes that qualified. And as you see, one is in red and one is in blue. That will be the first mount. And Yves Marshall Tadisi, who was a world silver medalist, he qualified, and so he will be going in that first round. And then we will note that the scores will change. The GS, the general score, the overall score of the bouts will change as the bouts go through. And the PF referred to that's the points scored in favour of the athlete, whether it's a Yuko or Wazari or Ippon. And the PA is the points scored against the athlete. And they may come into play later if there is a tie-break situation. And that will be really important to monitor that as we go through in those various bouts. Now, the other thing that will happen is that we've got the female category also will be competing in kumite. So we have the male minus 67 kilogram category, and we have the female minus 55 kilogram category. And in a short while, those athletes will come out to take the bout, but more importantly, to make sure that their gi and their safety equipment is in place. They have to wear hand pads because it's kumite after all. It's a combat sport, and there is contact, of course, but it has to be measured. It has to be controlled.
Yes.
So they have to wear hand pads. They have to wear chest guards, chest protectors. They have to wear shin guards and foot protectors. And the there are 4 of them seated on the tatami, each in a corner. Above them, there is a camera, and that gives an opportunity for the coach to request a video review if they believe there to be a score. The referee, the center referee, can move anywhere on the tatami around the athletes, and if they see a score, and that is when 2 judges put the flags out for one athlete, they have to stop the bout and then award the score. This is for Yves Padisi.
Tadisi from Hungary.
Tadisi from Hungary. So 3-minute bout, and the referee gets them underway. In the round robin system, it is possible for a draw, and there will be no hante from the judges.
No.
So this is similar to the team kumite. And once more, when you see on the...
So we can have 1 point here.
Yes.
2, 1 or 0.
Correct. So 2 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, no points if you lose. And there's the opening shot. And the first score goes to Abdelrahman. And you see on the scoreboard the yellow dot. So Rahman also has the sensu advantage.
That's
which is almost like 2 points, isn't it, Davide?
almost.
And for those that aren't familiar with sensu, what that means, it's the first unopposed score, and it really comes into play should... Oh,
Wow!
What a fantastic...
Only 2 flags.
Oh, but it was a brilliant technique, wasn't it? The Uramowashi, as Yves Tadishi Marshall went to come in, that Joran Uramowashi from Al-Masafta Abdelrahman. 4 points now he leads. He completely took Yves Tadishi Marshall by surprise with that. Comfortable lead now in his opening bout. Now, unlike the simple, the knockout rounds, of course, whoever loses this gets another chance to make amends in the next 2 bouts. As we come into the last minute of the 3-minute bout.
Very good bout, without penalty.
Which is really good.
Yes.
And I know that frustrates so many people, and yourself included there, Davide. It's a shame when athletes are penalized. There's so many things that can go wrong. And it's so easy to get a penalty, but it's so difficult to score a point.
Yes, sometimes yes, but now we have the opposite situation. Much more points than penalties.
Which is good.
Wow.
Clever tactics there from Tadisi. The referee just penalising both of the athletes, category 2, and you can see the orange dot next to C2 on the graphic. The two levels don't cross-accumulate. C2 is about jogai, holding, pushing, that sort of thing. And generally, C1 is for contact violations or a dangerous throw.
Yes.
And as the clock comes down to 0, the referee, Ma Chunting, from the People's Republic of China, awards the win of the first bout to Al Musatfa Abdelrahman of Jordan. So, here's where we got those first points. That's the Jordan Oromawashi. Fantastic.
Yes.
Perfect timing. Lifted his knee so high. And there was the Churan Yoko spinning Yushiro Geri, the turning back kick attempt.
Wow.
And the Jordan Mawashi, a roundhouse kick to the head. There are 3 ways to score points. Oh, but before we get into that, let's have a look at it. The 4 occasions. He's had 5 third place positions as well. So strong fighter. And this then our second of our round robin bouts between Erisamdan of Turkey and Fedovsi Fazaliev of Azerbaijan, wearing the blue colors. Somewhat quieter start to the opening sequence here, Davide, compared to the previous bout.
Totally different category, totally different hike. And I'm very curious the next bouts between 60 and 67 kilos.
Yes, of course that will be the next round in this bout. There's the first of our category 2 warnings for both of them. This is for passivity. Referee not satisfied with the level of action from the fighters. Of course, there's so much at stake and neither of them want to lose the bout. If they can get a draw, at least they can get a point on the scoreboard. Remember, it's 2 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, nothing if you lose. Halfway through the bout, still no score. Category 2 warnings on both. Referee calling Tsukte, which is to give the fighters that little indication to say, come on, you've got to do some work here. Bacarete to separate them, and Yame to stop. World champion at -67 has already qualified for the Olympics. That's Steven da Costa from France. And following him in no other order than the fact that it is alphabetical is Darkan Asadilov of Kazakhstan, Angela Crescenzo, who is a world champion, Steven da Costa, also a world champion, Ali Al-Sawi from Egypt, and Nato Sago from Japan. Into the last 30 seconds, still no score. Very different tempo to this, isn't it, Davide? The only difference between these two at the moment is Vasaliev with 2 Category 1 warnings against his name. Now at the end of this,
this maybe, eh?
Yes, this
maybe.
And he's calling for, the coach is calling for a video review request for the Chudangeri. That's a roundhouse kick to the body. Here's the chance now to have a look at the video review team. And this is Pirkko Heinonen of Finland and Juan Antonio Velasco from Spain. They're looking at the technique to see whether they believe the kick was in and whether it met the criteria, the 6 criteria. So there was a kick coming in there from Eri Samdan, and then another from Vasaliev, and so both of the coaches have put the card up. So both techniques are being assessed by the review team, and that's an interesting one. One could be deemed to be a little short, the other could be deemed to be lacking in form.
I think that is not this the kick that they should say.
And we have
because there is another after.
And now they'll be looking at the other review. So we have, and the video review team have decided that there are no scores as they get back into the match. The coaches now will lose their opportunity. That looked an awful lot better. That Kazamazuki, the front hand punch there.
Wow.
From Eri Samdan. Caught Fyodovsky Vasaliev by surprise, that Kazamazuki, and right on the button basically to take that win.
Yes, this is very good technique.
It was,
because Billy, this bout in the same category, 60 kilo, it is very important to win, because they know, the 60 kilo know that with 67 kilo is much more difficult to get the victory. So that's why the most expert athletes, the Turkish one, that made a very good competition in the preliminaries, try to win and get the victory.
So here's the round robin. of soccer. His goal. So whether the athletes finished in the final position in the qualification tournament or in the bronze medal position in the qualification tournament, they are all on a level playing field now. No hierarchy. Whoever wins the most points goes to Tokyo for the Olympic Games. Could not be any more important. In the world of karate, this is the golden opportunity, the debut, as the opening score comes in with a video review request. On the same time, there are two video reviews, as you see back, and there was one blue flag. So Zhang Bierbe has a score. The Senchu won't be awarded just yet. It would depend on the outcome of the video review. As you see, Zhang Bierbe going high with that Zuki, and underneath and then the Jodan Gazamazuki, the Jodan punch from Panishtik. And it was unsuccessful.
Wow. Also in this case, we can see the difference in the height because the two athletes, how the different tolls. And the Kazakhstan girl is a 50 kilo. That's very, very fast.
And the thing is, although Banishtik is a world champion in her weight, these athletes don't normally meet.
No,
do
never.
They? Because the weight difference. So
never.
It's untrodden ground here. They've never met. So you have here a lighter weight putting pressure onto the world champion Banishtik.
Yes.
So Zhang Bierbe from Kazakhstan has 2 points on the board. She also has the Senchu advantage. And there was a flag in support of Dorota Banishtik, but the coach has lost his opportunity to call for a video review request. So Chukoku is the first level of Category 2 warning, and that was for the Jogai. Jogai being where the athlete has stepped off the tatami, off the fighting area, which is that red square.
You cannot lose time like this, Dorota.
No,
No.
with just 1/3 of the bout still to go. She trails 2 points to 0. Very strong counter punch there from the Kazakhstan fighter Zangbirbe. Banashtik came in and she did get hit, but whether it was deemed to be too hard or whether the referee felt that it was a strong punch, but the referee now has recommended to the panel that it was a contact that was too strong. They've changed their position from giving a point to giving a warning for contact. But it is a warning to Banashtik at the same time, because Banashtik now realizes she can't simply go into an encounter with this super fast fighter from Kazakhstan without getting a counter punch. Banashtik tries that high hooking kick, but the distance was incorrect.
Yes.
And Davide, you were obviously fighting as an individual, but also in team, and you would have fought people who are lighter
Yes.
and smaller. So what is the tactic for a bigger person against a smaller person?
Look, sometimes it's not so easy to fight with a smaller fighter. Because you have less target.
And they're faster.
And they're faster also. And so in this kind of committee with this kind of rules is not written anywhere that the taller or the heavier has more possibility to win the bout.
And you can see the speed of Zangbirbe using that plyometric, bouncing around, just keeping herself out of trouble. But she did get another warning as the clock ticked to 0. So she loses the Senchu. That was the signal the referee gave, and she takes the more important win into her first opening bout in the round robin. Tariq Abdesalem, the coach of Maldir Zangbirbe from Kazakhstan, will be pleased about the performance. His fighter has defeated a world champion in the opening round. She still has plenty of work to do, mind. Zangbirbe, we'll see on the graphic in a moment, will have scored 2 points as the referees make their way to the tatami for the second round. You can see this here now, Zangbirbe. She has 2 points in the general score. The points for are 2. And down at the bottom there, the world champion trails at the moment. Dorota Banashtik, no points on the general score, and she has 2 points against her after one round, one bout. A second contest will be between in 2017, and she's also had a bronze medal in the 2019 Senior European Championship. She's been a junior European champion and a bronze medalist as a cadet. So again, very strong fighters. And the fighters that have already qualified for the Olympics is Sara Barmanyar, of course, from the Islamic Republic of Iran, Mio Miyahara from Japan, Serap Oselik of Turkey, Angelika Teliuga of the Ukraine, and Zhu Yunwen from Chinese Taipei. So they are already on their way to Tokyo, so to speak, and they will be joined by the 3 top fighters in this category today. The referee Darko Zaric invokes a penalty for passivity to both of them. And in the round robin situation, Davide, the fighters that could account for the hesitancy there of the fighters to get engaged quite so readily.
These Russian athletes remember me, a very strong competitor from Russia, Alexander Gurinov. She has the same style and the same kick also.
Yes.
She can kick as him.
Jordan Mawashi there.
She has very
wonderful
wonderful kick.
That's right. Just as you were saying that, Davide, there's a video review request for that Jordan Mawashi. Now, whether it met the criteria, there are 6 criteria. Vigorous application is one of them. We just see here.
I didn't see the kick.
As she came forward, there was the kick. It was with the shin bone rather than the foot.
Yes.
If it was a shin bone, it can't score.
This is a mistake from the referees, from the coaches,
From the
because he lost the card in the first bout, and maybe he need in the next bout.
And he wasn't in the best position because his fighter had her back to him.
Yes.
He wouldn't have seen the angle, of course, that the video review team did, and the judges sitting in the chair with those flags.
You're right.
Still, the lead is in the hands of Anna Chernysheva from Russia. She has the Yuko score and the Senchu advantage. Once more, they fall foul of Category 2 penalties and warnings.
Wow!
Oh, now the Oromawashi.
Well, only one flag?
Well, the Oromawashi, there was a brilliant technique. It looks fantastic. But there's now, one of the problems, of course, is that the referees, the judges, can only signal the first point they see.
But now, if
he had the card, that would be the time to call it.
Because it's the only possibility to have.
Exactly. But the judges can't give 2 scores.
Wow.
They can only give the first one. And clearly, the first technique was the punch.
Amazing kick, huh?
So, yes. Yvette Goranova, though, scoring that point and bringing the point to 1-1. It would be great to see that Jordan Mawashi in the replay, wouldn't it, Davide? If that's possible.
Yes, why not?
Yeah. There's another Zuki from the Russian, Anna Chernysheva.
Wow. .14 seconds, 2-1. Senshu.
Oh, again, no. That time, it didn't need the card, and it was the first technique, so the judges could go for that score. Fantastic. Oromawashi there from Anna Chernysheva of Russia. A video review from the coach of Yvette Goranova. But that's the end of the bout. That was a strong win in the end there, wasn't it?
Yes, but at the end we had 3 kicks from these athletes. 2 Uramawashi and 1 Mawashigeri.
But as you say, that card could be very important later on in the round robin. As Suzuki over the top, that was the first point that was scored. That gave her the senchu.
Point.
And there in comes the Oromawashi.
Unbelievable, eh?
That was a fantastic Oromawashi, wasn't it? And up go those flags, as you see. That was the second of the Oromawashis. It wasn't the one that I think this was the one that was called by the coach. So great. And now we get a chance to have a look at this. The female minus 55 kilogram. Almasatva. The referee, Robert Hamara from Norway, separates them with that wakarete. Wakarete means break,
yes.
Similar to that in boxing. Break, box would be tasukate. Separate the fighters, give them a chance to, and here, tasukate, come together. Let's see you do some work, and if they don't, in a short time, the referee would stop the bout and give a warning for passivity. But they are still working. There's, of course, there are two elements of the fight going on. There's the physical, testing each other, pushing, pulling, trying to feign an attack, feign a defense, like this, just to see what reaction there comes from the opponent. And the other part of it is that psychological battle that's going on, making a decision on when to make an attack. Ashibarai against one, and it's repeated from the other side.
There is a big difference in distance, in power also.
Yes. Because you could have one of the fighters at the lower end of the scale in terms of their weight category and the other at the higher end. So minus 60 could be almost at 55 kilogram. So now they've had their warning of passivity, category 2. Halfway through the bout, no score from either side. Oh, clever. That was almost a taekwondo technique. The kick from one side and the kick from the other.
Yes, but weak.
But not
weak.
Good enough.
Not good enough.
Didn't meet the criteria for Ippon. 6 elements to the criteria for Ippon. Vigorous application. It doesn't have to be hard, but it has to be fast. the good form. It has to look like a proper karate technique. In correct distance, that one was much better. That Chura Mawashi only got one.
You see?
Yep, again.
He's
lost the card, so he's lost an opportunity to call for, and that was a really strong Mawashigeri on that occasion, and it did draw one of the flags from one of the judges. But I didn't get a call for a video review from the coach because he's lost the card. Just 40 seconds of the bout still to go. Remember, no hante at the end. It would be a draw, and each would receive 1 point on the general score, the overall scores. That beep signals a Toshu Baraku. That means a little time left.
I think that they want Ikiwake.
Yes. Yes. He's got that feel about that. They want to have a Ikiwake, which is a draw. That will give them both a point.
This is a draw, 1 point each. The first draw of this round one of this qualification tournament finals. 1 point each one.
So again, we will get a chance to have a look at the overall table to see what difference that makes. And now here's an important point here, because they both had a win. As you can see here, there's the general score. We have, I'm not sure if that's been updated yet.
Not yet. Only one bout.
That's only one bout. That table hasn't taken into consideration the last bout.
Yes. We need one more bout.
Yes. So we'll come back to that in a little while, as we'll be changing now for the second one. But importantly, that if you get a draw, you already have 2 points. You get a draw, you get another point. Now that can be tactical, can't it?
Yes.
Because it could.
Lost the first bout.
Yes.
So this is very, very important.
They both of them need a win.
Yes.
So there's unlikely to go for a draw because they must get on the wall. And of course, whoever opens the score will determine the tactics of the remainder of the bout. The referee, Kobash of Turkey, calls Yame. He will invoke a passivity warning. Now the graphic actually says penalties, but the first level of Chikoku, Kekoku and Hansoku Chui, they're in fact all warnings. The first penalty proper is Hansoku, that's a disqualification. The other penalty could be Shikaku, which is the highest level of penalty. There's a Gyakuzuki, a reverse punch there from Tadisi.
This second penalties was not necessary. The athletes made a mistake. He grabbed with two hands. With
Yes, it wasn't intentional. He
Yes.
wasn't trying to hold on or to push. Interestingly, in judo, the referee can simply not give a warning and just allow them to start again. Maybe that's a good thing.
yes,
The only time a fighter can hold with both hands is if they catch a kick. It may be here that Vasaliev has hurt himself when he landed. I'm not sure if he hit his head when he landed. He certainly did.
the throwing was very tough,
Yes.
without control.
And here's how that happened.
Look, bam,
Again in judo,
and
that would be ippon.
yes, sure. And the opponent didn't get the opportunity to use the arms.
No.
That's the bad things in this case.
Yeah, his arms were kind of trapped.
Yes.
So the referee has a number of choices. He could simply let the match carry on, as he did.
Yes, this
Or-
is the right
or-
decision.
Yeah, correct. Or he could warn one of the fighters. But it didn't need any reprimand from the referee, but this one does because he pushed his opponent away.
Too many penalties.
So we have 4 penalties or 4 warnings on the board now. Category 2. Tadisi cannot afford another Category 2 warning. He will get himself disqualified, and that would be the first penalty. So he has to stay focused. He's still got a minute of the bout to go, a third of the way through, 2/3 of the way through. So he has to keep focused. They desperately need a win. A draw would be better than losing, of course, but they cannot afford to lose. They're not on the scoreboard yet. And they need to get a result out of this bout. Big shout.
Wow. The coach is sleeping, eh?
Yeah, I think
Coach
he
is
was,
sleeping.
yeah, and it was, to be honest,
Yes.
it was Tadisi's, not his job to
Yes,
call for
he
the.
asked- he
but
asked for the
said,
video
"Come
review."
on." That was what that
Yes.
shout was all about.
Because this could be a point. I'm not so sure, but this could be. Ah, no, miss. Totally
Yes,
miss.
it did indeed. It whipped past the ear
Yes.
of Vasaliev.
Easy,
So it's a big,
easy
strong
decision.
no from Fariba Madani from the United States, who puts up that red
but you
card.
know, when the athletes ask us so much, and there is a possibility to score.
No, actually, that one was that Yakuzuki would have been a good one to call.
Yes.
That
Yes.
reverse punch off the backhand. So that's a draw.
Yes.
That means that they're going to get 1 point each.
Yes.
So their third and final bout is a must-win. A must-win.
Yes.
So we have 2 of the fighters on 3 points, 2 of the fighters on 1. Here we have now the updated
Yes.
table, as you see here. The general score, 3-3 for Abdel Al-Masatfa and Eri Samdan.
Yes.
They've had 3 wins each, and now Fazaliev 1 point and Yves Marshall Tadisi 1 point. And the scores are quite low at the moment. The highest score there will 4 points is Al Masatfa.
Yes. But everything is still open, eh?
It is.
The last two places.
From the United States, Fariba Madani. His husband is also a world referee, Cyrus Madani. So, both being very Cornish. Banishtik in the red. And Chernysheva from Russia, sitting in the center of the tatami. This will be the passivity warnings. You see the referees have to wear the masks that have become a feature now, that those around the karate scene will feel almost this is part of the kit nowadays, and that alien feeling is starting to go away, sadly. But everybody longs for the day that we get back to normality.
Yes.
Chudan Yoko Geri there from Banishtik. Came over the top, didn't get the call for a review from the coach, and it didn't get the flags from the judges. And this is about that Banishtik really does need to up the game and start to get involved more. She really does need to find a win if she can. Strong counter punches there from Chernysheva. .56 seconds still remain. No score. Now, with one win under her belt, Chernysheva may be okay to accept a draw, but that isn't the case for her opponent here. Banishtik really does need to find a win. 1 point would be okay, be something. But that would be putting your fate in the hands of others if you're not careful. Into the last 15 seconds, still no score. Panastek being hunted down from Chernysheva, who would ideally like to get a second win under her belt if she can. Come to the end of the bout. It will be Ikuake, a draw, 1 point each. So here is the table. Now we've got 2 bouts for Banishtik and for Chernysheva. But Chernysheva sits on top of the table with 3 points. And we have Zangberbi with 2 points. And Banishtik now has got her first point onto the board. Now this is a do or die event for Yvette Goronova. She really does have to pull all the stops out here to get herself a win. If she can, she will jump over Dorota Banishtik. Yvette Goronova must get a win. Fast front hand there from the Bulgarian, who will open the score. And the referee from Italy, Giuseppe Zacchero, awards the point and also the sensu. So the yellow dot has yet to appear on the scoreboard there, but Yvette Goronova has that Yuko, and she also has the sensu advantage. And that's a good opportunity there. The referee called Wakarete, gave the fighters a chance to separate. scores being equaled now, but the Senchu still remains with Ivat Goranova from Bulgaria. So, and there you see the little yellow dot appear. That's the difference between the two. If it were to go to full time, the win would go to the Bulgarian because of the Senchu. But she's not going to want to rely on that. She wants the points to go with it. I think this, if she can get a win here, Davide, that could be the ticket for her.
Yes, ticket for her, and bye-bye.
And bye-bye, yes, to Goranova.
For Goranova, yes. That's why she should make something
she's still got
more.
nearly a minute left.
Yes.
Goranova really needs to start to do something here, doesn't she? Every second that ticks away puts her further and further away from her Olympic dream.
She's very tired, eh?
Of course, we mustn't forget that she's already had 4 rounds of hard matches to get into this position.
Maybe also 5.
Yes.
Oh, the point. Maybe also 5 more to these 2. For the moment, 7. 3 minutes, 21 minutes fighting.
Yes. But nobody ever said becoming an Olympian would be easy.
Ah, yes. Wow.
Well, there's a flag for a Wazari score from one of the judges. The coach has gone for a review. This is a really important position. If she can get this win, that puts her back into contention.
Yes.
And it's a defensive Yoko Geri. As she came forward,
I think his point.
it stopped her in her tracks, that's for sure. The video review team looking very careful at the technique from different angles. And is it a yes? It is. Fariba Madani puts out the green flag and her arm to signal Awazari. That's 2 points.
Yes.
So Bulgaria now 4 points to 2 and the Senchu advantage.
But why no flex before?
As the referee calls Yame, 14 seconds on the clock.
Wow.
Hans Okachui.
First penalty and Sukuchui last 15 seconds. Very dangerous, eh?
Yes, indeed. Now it seems that Zangbirbe is opening up.
Wow.
But she kind of allowed herself to lose that bout, didn't
Yes.
she? She was doing so well.
Yes.
Could have secured her position. Okay, so she's lost the Senchu, but she's won the match.
Yes.
And she's back in there.
And she's back now, yes.
Ivet Goranova, what an important win that was for her. She's pushed herself now over Dorota Banastik with that win.
Yes.
Because Banastik had a draw, so she only has 1 point. We still have Chernysheva at the top of the tree with 3 points. We'll have a look in a moment at the graphic. That was a strong Chudan Yoko Geri, very good. Here's the table now. We see here Anna Chernysheva, 3 points she has. Maldir Zangbirbe, 2. Ivet Goranova now sharing second at 2 points. And we have here Dorota Banastik still sitting at the bottom of the table. as they get into the 3-minute bout.
"21 seconds, too early to give penalty."
Well, the thing there, I think, was that
No, 21 seconds is really too early, Billy. We
Yes.
cannot manage the bout like this.
well, they
have
were
to
still testing each other, weren't they? They were still trying to see what's going on.
It's Olympic round robin, eh? It's not a bout in the dojo.
Still much tension between the two. Neither of them wanted to give anything away. Al-Masatfa, Jordan waiting to counterpunch if he can, if there is an attack coming from Fazaliev. Halfway through the bout, still no score, but penalties on both sides and warnings on both sides. Jordan Oromawashi didn't quite come off on that
Almost.
occasion, but it was close, wasn't it? Into the last minute we go. Al-Masatfa from Jordan. Nearly caught Fasaliev with that kick. Tries it again, but falls to the tatami. Could be another situation where they would settle for a draw. Not the best position to be in, but it would give a point each.
You cannot fall on the floor, fall down on the floor every kick. This should be penalized.
For time wasting.
Yes.
I understand
Because
exactly what you're saying,
yes.
and you sometimes see it where the fighter will fall down and
Yes.
put their legs over their head to waste time. So you're right, Davide. It's not the best of tactics. Keep on your feet, stand your ground, and fight. He steps off the tatami. That will be Hansoku Chui. And happy to settle for a draw. So that's just 1 point to add to any tally. But of course, you see the reaction there tells
He's qualified.
the story.
But we have everything open, eh?
Yeah, we have Abdelrahman Al-Masatfa with 4 points now, sitting at the top of the table. And qualified, of course. Eri Samdan with 3 points. Fedovsi Vasaliev, Yves Marshall Tadisi. He is looking in a perilously awkward position with
Yes.
just 1 point. But Abdel Rahman Al Masatfa was He was happy to get a draw. Didn't mean it meant that he was already sitting there strong with 3 points. Now he's on top of the table as it stands. Again, that was a very important point for him. The Yuko. Eri Samdan still has the Yuko lead and the Senchu. Eri Samdan using the speed of that lighter weight to skip round the tatami, out of danger from Yves Marcel Tadisi as he hunts him down. Desperately needs to get onto that scoreboard above him. Eri Samdan cleverly bounces around the tatami.
Yes.
Oh, very, very fast. Took a strong blow, even though he got the points.
No, doctor.
The doctor's being called over. The doctor was called over.
I think with the knee, eh?
Here's the...
Yes, with the knee.
Yes. Yes. There's the knee. As Tadisi was trying to do a Chuda Mawashi, no suggestion of intent, malice intent. But as Eri Samdan closed down and delivered that Zuki to score his point, you see the judges with their flags still out. If there is an injury, that means an athlete has to stop in the earlier rounds.
Yes.
They their previous fights would be recorded as a bye.
Yes,
But if it's the last fight of the round, their previous fight scores will remain.
yes,
But that's not the situation here. Eri Samdam's made of tough stuff. He's got back on his horse, so to speak, and still in there. With a minute still to go, he's leading 3 points to 1. He has the Senchu advantage. Tries that Judah Mawashi. Marshall Tadisi. He's Marshall Tadisi, has got another score to add to his tally. Just 1 point between the two and the Senchu, of course. This is a must-win bout for Yves Marshall Tadisi if he wants to stand any chance of getting to the Olympics in Tokyo.
yes.
And he still has 47 seconds. He can score 2 points, 2 Yuko, or if he can score Owazari. But it's become a little harder for him now because Eri Samdan takes another Yuko score. His number on the back of his gi has come off, so that's in the protection of the coach. He can sort that out later. Into the last 30 seconds we go. Good counter punch there from Yves Marshall Tadisi. Three points to 2. There was also a punch from Samdan, but the coach has no card left. He played that earlier. And as in the eliminations, normal eliminations, if a card is used and lost, you can't use it again. Into the last 7 seconds, another punch there from Yves Marshall Tadisi. This time only one flag, but again he has no card. Eri Samdan steps off the tatami. He will lose the Senchu, but he has that all-important 1 Yuko lead. That gives him the win.
Yes.
And it's the end of the road for Yves Marshall Tadisi.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes. But it has to happen to someone.
Eri Samdan sitting on top of the tree.
Yes.
Doing
Rai,
exactly that, and as we
yes.
said, it now gives him that gold medal position for the tournament. Going into the Olympics, having won the tournament convincingly, the round robin.
2 points on the last spot to Yves Marshall Tadisi.
You see the action replay here of some of those techniques. And here are the table scores. As you see at the top here with 5 points, Eri Samdan of Turkey, Abdel Rahman Al Masafwahi. Barisic tries a double Jordan Mawashi,
Yes.
a double round kick to the head. Punches from both of the fighters. The coach from the Bulgarian, Yvette Goranova, calls for a video review. Now, will the video review team, they've chosen one of the screens to look for. They're just deciding which one to focus in on, and here it is. There's the Gazamazuki, that's the punch. Now, did it hit the shoulder and then go on to the target? Or
No.
and yeah, I think it hit the shoulder before it went up to the target.
Yes.
And that's why it's been rejected from the referees. So now neither of the coaches have a card to call
No.
as we go into the last 2 minutes of the bout. Dorota Banishnik must find a way. This is her last match. It's the last match of Yvette Goranova. And the two that are topping the table at the moment will fight for the last, in the last bout. And that is Maldir Zangbirbi and Anna Chernasheva. Goranova knows that either a win or a draw will be sufficient for her. Banishtik must win.
One minute 30. 0-0.
Halfway through the bout. Still no scores. Banishtik, to me, the other day, looks a bit down, looks a bit
Yes.
sullen in her. She doesn't seem her normal fighting self.
Now, situation become complicated.
Yes, indeed it does. And there's the Senchu to go with it. Yvette Goranova feeling more comfortable as the seconds tick by. So she loses her gum shield and
Yes, and referees didn't see.
yes. So a deliberate step off the tatami there
Yes.
in 25 seconds,
To rest, to breathe.
but it gives her a break in the pressure.
Yes.
Banishtik now has to go right back to the center of the tatami, start all over again, trying to find a way through the defenses of the big Bulgarian opponent, and can't do it because there's another point to be added. That's a second Yuko score. So Yvette Goranova getting closer and closer to her Olympic dream with every tick of that clock. Every second there was almost a Jordan Mawashi came off then. And it goes from bad to worse for Dorota Banishtik.
Anso Kuchui
Yeah.
is last 15 seconds.
Oh, that Davide Benatello just doing a bit of refereeing from the commentary position, and he's absolutely right. We're within the last 15 seconds, so it should be a second level to Hanso Kuchui instead of a Yuko.
Okay. I thought it was Anso Kuchui also for Yvette.
No, because of the
Yes.
she's now on Hanso Kuchui.
1 second and a half.
She will lose the senchu.
Yes.
So now it's
And now only Nura Mawashi of Dorota can save it.
yes, it was a strong Yoko Geri defensive sidekick. Didn't get a score. Wasn't a card for a video review. Doesn't really matter because Yvette Goranova takes the win and jumps into the arms of the coach. She knows she's done enough now. She is going to the Olympics.
Yes. Welcome to Tokyo. And also as first. No, we have one more bout.
One more bout. But at the moment, Yvette Goranova sits on top with 4 points, 2 wins. Anna Chernysheva with 3 points, with 1 win, 1 draw. Moldi Zangbierbi from Kazakhstan with 2 points from 1 win. Dorota Banishtik, the world champion from Poland, she sits at the bottom of the table with 1 point for a draw.
Effort to reach the dream of the Olympics, and now karate will debut in Tokyo, in the country where the modern karate was born. So we are very satisfied of our leadership and of our job that we did to reach Tokyo in the best situation possible. We had a very, very tough year because of the pandemic, but the athletes managed the inactivity for more than 1 year. We restarted the activity in Istanbul after with the Premier League of Lisbon, with the European Championship of Porridge, amazing organization, and now we are here in Paris with a wonderful organization also, where the athletes can reach Tokyo and and the dream came true. So, Billy, we are almost less than 50 days for Tokyo, and I'm very excited to see all these athletes. As you know, I am the representative of the athletes in the last 10 years, so I'm very happy for all of them because they represent all the athletes of the past. So So
Excellent, excellent, Davide, and that was so very eloquently put and representative of the effort that's been put into the WKF's
Yes.
ambitions. Of course, you mentioned Porridge, Croatia, and as we speak, the youth of the karate world are meeting as we speak in
yes,
Porridge.
yes.
And that's another huge area of work, isn't it?
Yes, because all the young people meet in Croatia the last 6 years with amazing training camp of 3 days with the best athletes in the world.
And
with
thousands and thousands of them.
Yes, we and 1,500 athletes the last edition. So the success is huge, and we have 7 world champion as instructor, and the organization is wonderful. The sea is wonderful. The food is wonderful, and also there is the youth league after the camp. So all the world meet in Croatia.
Excellent. And Kazakhstan versus Russia.
Yes.
Kazakhstan here leading. 3 points to 0 with 1 minute left on the clock. Moldir Zangbirbe in the blue colours here, already qualified regardless of the outcome of this match. Anna Chernysheva also in a qualification position. But there's a lot of pride at stake as well. That's why these two athletes are still going for it. Anna Chernysheva gets her score on the board with 38 seconds still to go. 3-2, Moldir Zangbirbe leads. That can change with a Chudan Mawashi, a Jodan Mawashi. And that can happen anytime within the next 29 seconds.
Wow.
Oh.
Yes.
Out go the flags. Moldir Zangbirbe taking no risks. She wants to make sure she's got plenty of points, plenty of space in this last 13 seconds over Anna Chernysheva. She wants to be topping the table, taking the gold medal home, and going into the Olympics in the best position possible. She'll lose the Senju, the yellow dot disappears from her score, but she still has 5 points. Going to take a bit. Whoa! What a fantastic technique right there. Now this last 2 seconds are going to mean something special because it's 5-4. Chernysheva, if she can come off the line and score a point. Oh. Now there was a video review call from the coach of Moldir Zangbirbe. Let's see if there is a... And of course this can be tactical, of course, can't it?
This was.
But she did try to kick and she fell down to the tatami. She couldn't step off the tatami. It would have been Hansoku. There's the kick. Now, it looked more like a Mawashi than a Yoko Geri. And so the kick came in a circular moment, and it wouldn't have been strong enough at that to do it. But she takes the win.
Yes.
And of course, she takes with it the gold medal for the tournament, for the round robin. She takes with it that ticket, that all-important ticket of an entrance into the Olympic Games in Tokyo 2020. Of course, this is 2021, but because of the delay,
Yes.
the Games are still being referred to as 2020.
Yes.
So we'll see the tables in just a moment.
Thank you very much. Good luck. Ladies, you are qualified for the Olympic Games.
As the ring speaker, Jose Redondo says, these are the athletes for the Olympic Games. Delara Bozan, Alexander Faraci and Yasmin Tyutna. Earlier in Tokyo, in just 50 days.
Congratulations. And the second time for today, Turkish in the first place.
Yes.
Turkish.
Again,
Very
Kata and Kumite. Again, showing the strength of depth
Yes.
for the nations.
Congratulations.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Billy, we are almost over for today.
We are indeed, and here is the final table for the female minus 55 kilogram. Yvette Goronova, gold medalist, Moldova.